Hello guys, my name is Abby.
And I'm Haley. And we are students of Dr. Charlton's Judgment and Decision Making class. Yay!
Today in this video we are going to be explaining decision making within the context of something called social and market norms.
Jumping right on in, we are going to begin by talking about Black Friday. See what I did there? It's written in black. Yeah? Okay. Well, we all pretty much know what this day is, and we've heard the horror stories about the grandmas who throw down over a simple toy. During Black Friday, we can expect to see tons of people who all have the same goal in mind: take advantage of the big sales that are going on everywhere. As someone who has worked at a department store during Black Friday, I can definitely say people do not act as normal. In our discussion today, we're going to describe this behavior as a lack of altruism. Altruism is defined as when we do something to benefit others with nothing in return. So the big question here is, why do people keep acting this way on this specific day of the year? Don't worry, we won't leave you hanging. Just keep watching.
Okay, so now we are going to introduce to you our friend Dan. Dan is a super nice guy and is friends with just about everyone. Dan is unfortunately having some car trouble. He's on his way to work and he had a flat tire. He calls up his best friend Sam and asks him to come help fix his car. Sam happily agrees and changes the tire for Dan, showing a higher amount of altruism. Now let's imagine this scenario again, except this time Dan offers Sam $2 to help fix his flat tire. Sam ponders this for a minute and ultimately declines because he feels changing a tire is worth more than just $2 measly. So again, the question here is why?
So another example of this, similar to the one that we just watched, is I want you guys to imagine if you guys have like a best friend and they ask you, hey, I'm going out of town for a few days. Do you mind watching my vicious, socially intolerant Rottweiler? Most people would be like, sure, you're my best friend. Of course, I don't mind taking care of your cute little pup. So this is a situation based on social norms, and we're about to get into another one based on market norms. Thought this was a really cute dog, and it's a Rottweiler. So then Haley comes back, say she comes back 2 months later, and she says, hey, I'm going out of town for a few days. Do you mind watching my vicious, socially intolerant Rottweiler? But this time, she introduces market norms. So she says, I'll pay you $5 for the entire week. And I don't know about you, but anyone in their right mind would be like, wow, what an absolute jerk for someone, my best friend, to offer me just $5 measly for taking care of their, stinky dog for the week. I think anyone would expect a bit more than that when it involves market norms. So
Let's go back to the idea of social and market norms. What are these exactly? Well, social norms are essentially what we expect of people in terms of their behavior in a social situation. Typically, when social norms are the driving force of someone's behavior, we see more altruism in their acts. Market norms, on the other hand, are economically driven and will dictate someone's behavior anytime money is involved in a situation. Typically, with market norms, we see lower altruism.
So how do we tie all of this together? Well, in the Black Friday scenarios, we can obviously see that market norms are the driving force of people's behavior because who in their right minds will be physically aggressive over a plastic toy? And with the Dan and Sam scenario, Sam became hesitant about fixing Dan's car only when money was introduced, and Sam was no longer acting out of altruism, but out of what he felt his work was worth, which was of course more than $2.
The important lesson out of all of this, as stated by Ariely, is that by not mentioning prices, this will usher in social norms and increase our caring attitudes towards others.
Thanks for listening to our knockoff of Crash Course, and we hope we get an A. A for altruism, that is. Until next time, fellow JDM classmates.